Hi everyone, doing a quick live here with an update from the Mayor's Advisory Committee on the Judiciary. I attended the public hearing in which they confirmed the 4 new judges for New York City, and the meeting just ended, recently ended, so I wanted to give a quick update while the things are fresh in my memory. I also took notes. I'm here in Manhattan. It's 22 Weedy Street. That's where they held the meeting. The meeting was announced about 2 weeks prior. The public could submit comments. I did submit my comments, but they didn't accept it. I got an email back that I'm not allowed to speak, but I'm welcome to be present. So I came here. It's not a large room. I attended, I believe, one of the recent ones. The committee had a gap of about, I would say, 6 months. 6 months before this one. And the previous meeting was actually much more packed. This one was shorter. The room was not fully occupied. I would say many empty chairs. Most notably, no other members of the press, no journalists, nobody else, I believe, covered that. Was a small presence. I'll go through the members that I saw. Mostly families, it seems, were in chairs. But anyway, to the point. So, Mayor's Advisory Committee is a unique organization. It's a unique function for New York City. That's how the judges are appointed here. That's, of course, the one of the largest cities in the world. And the judges here are not selected. They are not elected. They are selected by the mayor. And the advisory committee is actually the board that is supposed to pre-select and find the best candidates for the job. Now, there are 19 members. We can go through the selection. Some of them are appointed by the mayor, some by judges. But what's more important is that out of those 19, there were only 2 members present. And that's to remind you, that's a public hearing in which the public is supposed to have their comments about future judges. So the chair, George Silver, was there, and then another member. And that's it. Basically, the other representatives were members of Mayor Adams' administration, and several members of the judiciary, the administrative part of New York judiciary, all formerly judges, so we'll go through them. And beyond that, that's it. So ostensibly, according to the executive order number 14, that regulates the functioning of the committee, the public is supposed to come and provide comments. Now, if the committee is not there, that right away shows that it's all basically a farce. So what's going on here is, of course, constitutional creep. New York Constitution started with a 3-year term and the direct election of the judges. Now we have a 10-year term for family court judges, and they're not elected. There's no recall elections. There's basically no way to get public reprieve from errant judges, and they're appointed by the mayor through this committee. No direct accountability to the public whatsoever. So I wanted to see, basically I'm the only one, I believe, who covers this very important stage in how the New York population is ruled through these courts. It includes, by the way, civil, criminal, and family courts. So I came here, and the meeting was supposed to start at 9. It started late, started around 9:13, 9:15, even though it ended on time. It ended around 10. As I mentioned, they refused to let me speak. I'm just going through my notes here. No member of the public was actually speaking. So if there were any objections submitted to the committee, they were none heard. All speakers that were allowed to present whatever they had to present were were referring to the judges as judges already, even though they didn't take their oath, but then to a later stage, in the later stage of the presentation. Again, no press, no journalists. I was displaying my badge. I'm a registered journalist with New York City, and at a certain point, actually a few minutes, I was videotaping, as I assumed is absolutely legal, which is legal, and of course protected by the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of press. I was approached by a security guard, actually the same guard who asked me to take a picture of him and his handsome, his words, friend, which I did, so I was even specifically permitted, and said, listen, you know, you're not allowed to preserve the evidence for the public, but First Amendment was violated. So The speakers included George Silver, as I mentioned. He's the chair. He was actually the moderator of the presentation. They just came one after another, congratulating them, telling jokes. Very casual, in my opinion. Anne-Marie Jolie, she's the chief administrative judge for the family court in New York. Deborah Kaplan, she's the deputy chief administrative judge of New York courts as a whole. I posted the link to a New York Post article from a while ago with the title Mafia Princess. So if you want to get some background about Deborah Kaplan, deputy chief administrative judge of New York City courts, read the link. Another speaker was Tamika Amaker. So now she's the chief administrative judge for the criminal courts in New York. Her name actually came into the press prominently while she was serving as a chief administrative judge under Anthony Cannataro, judge from the highest court of New York, the Court of Appeals, who served before the appointment of Judge Wilson. Whole conundrum with LaSalle, and she was implicated in a scandal prominently covered about essentially lying to New York Senate in her report. So nevertheless, she serves in a very high position here now within the court administration and for the criminal courts in particular. Two members of Mayor Adams' administration gave their speeches. One of them, the chief advisor, I actually saw her in the press conferences held by the mayor. And then the judges spoke. Pretty expected template speeches, but the two candidates that were approved for family court, Michael Leedy and Rantivera Singh, they referred to their families, which I found positive, given what I'm experiencing and many other members of the victim class in family court. The judge who torments me for over 2 years, Jeanette McFarland, is childless. She doesn't have any family. Another judge who was appointed, Peter DeLisa, is an open homosexual. He's not hiding that. So to see two new judges actually telling and being grateful to their families, that's a positive sign. I was impressed by Michael Leedy, who gave a speech actually prominently mentioned his Christian faith, which is surprising in basically increasingly godless city of New York. The other candidate who was approved, Rantivera Singh, he has a background of Office of Children and Families Administration, Children Family Service, OCFS, so which is an umbrella organization of ACS and CPS in New York, which is very concerning. Very concerning. Many judges have a background in ACS or CPS, and we know it's a universally hated organization with many thousands of faiths and children and childhoods and families absolutely ruined. So that was a kind of a template example. Again, I don't know him personally. I wasn't allowed to ask any questions. I was allowed to speak, and nobody, again, no member of the public was present or speaking. It was all judges and congratulations and kisses and tapping each other on the shoulder. When the executive director of the committee, Ariana Soret, approached me, I asked her if she receives my emails, and she confirmed, and she invited me to speak to her after the meeting, which I did. I did approach her. I had a brief exchange with her and with George Silver. I asked them if they received my emails. They confirmed. Ariana Soret confirmed that the email that I sent, or anyone sends to the regular general email of the MACGA, so Mayor's Advisory Committee on the Judiciary, actually is received by all members. So they are viewing that. They confirmed that they are reading that. I think they knew who I am. Of course, I presented my badge, but they clearly knew who I am. It looks like they read. Of course, they denied that they have any authority regarding Jeanette McFarland, and I emphasize that I keep copying them. I keep making them keeping them in the loop, so they know how appointments that they make or recommendations that they make actually end up in many cases. It's beyond Jeanette McFarland, who ruined countless families. There are close to 20 victims who are brave enough to come open, and it's still not enough, apparently, but we need to be vocal. Another question that I asked these two important members of this whole process, so George Silver and Ariana Soret is why they are not complying, and I have it here, with Section 3, Subsection B of Mayor's Executive Order number 14 from April 12, 2022, which says that the committee may from time to time conduct public hearings concerning the process of judicial selection. So there are two types of hearings. One hearing that I just attended, where they essentially approve the judges, but they're supposed to hold another type of hearing where they invite the public to provide comments on the actual process of selection. And she started arguing with me, go look into our frequently asked questions, basically gaslighting. So there was no substantive answer from her part. They confirmed in the written communication to me, I posted it, that in the last 10 years, no such hearing was made, and we see the results. So again, four very important people, office holders, who will decide lives of who knows how many thousands of New Yorkers and children and families, were appointed without public participation. Out of 19 members of the committee, only 2 were present. No objections from the public were heard. I believe there were some changes basically after I started shining the light on what's going on here. So for example, the 2 family court judges were appointed straight to family court. Before that, judges, like in McFarland's case, were appointed for an interim term in civil court. In my opinion, it's blatantly unconstitutional, and at least this time it wasn't done. Another example is that this time the public was given 2 weeks of advance notice. Before that, I believe it was something like 5 business days, so clearly not enough. But of course, part of it is on the public. It's very, very clear. So if I'm the only New Yorker who attended that, who attempted to provide objections or ask questions of the candidates, that's a serious problem. And of course, we are all swamped with a flood the zone tactic that the government employs. But we need to do more as a public, and at least I will be doing my part. I need to show my children that I did everything to save them from the jaws of this unbelievably inhumane bureaucracy that just taps itself on the shoulder and says congratulations after a successful career without letting people to record. They have an audio recording, which is unacceptable. We are in year 2024, to remind everyone. We have the live capabilities, we have the video capabilities, and yet there's only an audio recording. That's unacceptable. They think it's acceptable, but why wouldn't they? They have video cameras everywhere, so they record us, and we are not allowed to record them. And then again, as I mentioned, the later stage, they said I'm not allowed even to take still pictures, even though everybody in the audience was taking still pictures. So that's simply unacceptable. So things like that should be raised in the hearing by the public, stating that or helping, essentially, ostensibly helping the committee conduct, do better job in selecting the candidates. But as I mentioned, for 10 years, they did nothing like that. So let's see if I have other notes that I still did not mention. Yeah, so toward the end, after the judges gave their speeches, very short, they took an oath together, which I also find odd. So the oath of office is individual, but they were kind of, like school, Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, like repeating the words with giggles in between by the chair, George Silver. Each one mentioned their own court, which is also kind of jumbled together. So I'm not sure if it will come out on the audio. I assume they sign a written oath eventually. Anyway, they all committed publicly to uphold the Constitution. And they started with New York State Constitution, then they mentioned the United States Constitution as in second place, and then the Charter of the City of New York. But it was very clear that the First Amendment of the Constitution was not upheld today by the committee, by the chair who was there, George Silver, and by the executive director, Ariana Soret. They didn't care about my rights, your rights, the right of the public to know. They stopped my recording. They made me delete still pictures that caught a segment of the audience. And these are the people in charge of selecting judges in New York. My focus is on family court judges, right? And these family court judges, of course, don't uphold the Constitution, even though they took an oath ostensibly. I asked, by the way, to get the audio of the confirmation hearing for Janet McFarland. I believe it was about 2 years ago, so we'll see if I actually get it. These audios or videos are not posted for the public. It's if you see the website of the committee, it's very bare bones. So that's basically what I had for now. I will try to post maybe a written update. I'm sure those who were there, they were acutely aware of my presence, and they will certainly watch it. So let me just go through the questions. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Shirley Ann. Thank you, JJ. Corruption in high places. Government, absolutely right. Thank you, Betty, for watching. Thank you, Candice. Thank you, Marina, for watching. Thank you, Taven. James Kelly saying, thank you, Roman Brick. This is tyranny in action. Let's see. The state must declare the child to be the most precious treasure of the people. As long as the government is perceived as working for the benefit of the children, the people will happily endure almost any curtailment of liberty and almost any deprivation. We all know, those who are victims of family court know whom the quote is attributed to. So anyway, I think I will sign off. Again, I'm here in Manhattan. My name is Roman Brick. I'm a citizen journalist recognized by the city of New York. Whether I'm recognized by them or not, it doesn't matter. We all have First Amendment right. As James Kelly said, the press pass, our press pass is the Constitution of the United States. But I was here. It's very sad that I probably was the only New Yorker, independent New Yorker from the public, not a family member, not an appointed judge, not the member of the government pyramid that appoints them. But somebody needs to do that. So, and I am doing what I have to do as a God-fearing Jew, as a father, as an American. I reported on that. I tried. I submitted my email. I was gagged from speaking. They would not let me speak. I was gagged from filming. I was gagged from taking pictures. And this is the process of how the judges of the city of New York, the famous New York City, look at this. Look at the skyline. That's a dream for so many. It's still the best country on earth, but it goes down fast. And it's my job to cover the process. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate your tuning in. Leave comments. I will try to do, actually, me and T. Matthew Phillips will most likely do another live show like we do every Thursday. It's 6 p.m. New York time, 3 p.m. Nevada time, 5 p.m. Texas time. We might have a guest from Texas for this show, so please tune in. If you have any questions, post them, and I will answer and address them later. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Taven. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Betty. Acknowledging those who I have. Signing off. Thank you.